Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Throwdown at gmail.com. I'm Caleb Black. He's Luke the Big Dog Williams. That's Max Fury. We've been goofing off during the commercial break. It's not really a commercial break.
Well, technically it's YouTube, so there is commercials.
So yeah, but hopefully they put it there. One would think. It is time for Today in Wrestling History. Man, on top of the other sad stuff, we're going to revisit one more sad event this week in wrestling history. Today marks the 21-year anniversary of the tragic passing of Owen Hart at the Camper Arena in Kansas City, Missouri, by falling from a rig system, obviously to his untimely end, hitting in the middle of the ring as the Blue Blazer. I will remember him passing away forever.
Yes.
And I will remember just the feeling. I was just a little kid, but like one of my absolute favorite wrestlers wasn't going to be on TV anymore. And like that was the first tragic death in wrestling that I got to personally experience emotionally as a fan, because I was too young, for a lot of the other ones. And that was the first real big one to me. And man, what an incredible talent. A guy who could separate the drama and the chaos of the wrestling business from his family life because he loved his family, he loved what he did. Just a shame.
Owen Hart was the youngest of 12, who, for lack of better figure of numbers, all pretty much had a hand in pro wrestling.
Right. The sons grew up to be wrestlers and the daughters grew up to marry wrestlers.
Yeah, I mean, the man was talented. There was a lot of play on storyline-wise of him living in the shadow of Bret. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that with the given time that he had, excuse me, he was his own man in professional wrestling. He was a star on his own merit.
Yeah.
The stuff that he did as the Blue Blazer, like, I'm old enough to remember when it took place originally. The original run of the Blue Blazer was fantastic. And then, of course, him coming in, teaming with Coco Beware as high energy in the big parachute pants and checkers, to which then when Coco left, of course, and Anvil come in.
Yeah.
They did the new foundation, which didn't really pick up off the ground. It should have, but it didn't. And then, of course, you move on, King of the Ring.
Yeah.
Numerous tag title reigns.
Was being groomed to be the number one contender for the championship.
Intercontinental Championship wins.
European Championship wins.
Actually, there is a story that happened on a live event that he beat Bret Hart for the WWF Championship.
Yeah.
There are pictures out there.
Yeah.
But much like the Rockers and the Hart Foundation, the match wasn't presentable.
Right.
So they just kind of
forgot it ever happened.
But there is footage in a couple old WWF magazines. I remember owning one that had the picture of him with the championship above his head. Of course, it was reversed. But, I mean, it's such a great, bright talent that was snuffed out way too soon.
And if you haven't had the opportunity, I highly recommend you check out the Dark Side of the Ring Season 2 series finale.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor at all, just a great program for wrestling fans. It featured Owen Hart, it featured his wife, it featured his children. And it was a really introspective look at a guy who, once again, didn't get caught up in the drugs, didn't get caught up in the women, didn't get caught up in the schedule. He worked and he went home to his family.
It's also, there's a lot to be said that Bret Hart is the only surviving member.
Yeah.
Of the original Hart Foundation.
Yeah, now that Anvil's passed away.
Pillman,
Rest
Owen,
in peace to all
Bulldog.
these guys.
I mean, it's a testament to how hard the business is, but Owen should not have been one of those.
Owen's tragic passing was an accident and an unnecessary one.
It was definitely avoidable.
And it's just a tragedy, man.
It's really hard to believe it's been
21 years.
21 years.
Yeah.
Since the falling in the Kemper Arena.
I was 8 years old.
I was watching the pay-per-view live, and it cut off, and, they come in, and just like everybody else, you kind of think, well, this has got to be some kind of a story. Hell, we've seen Sting fall from the rafters.
Right.
And it be a made-up doll or or whatnot. But I remember watching the pay-per-view, and it didn't show anything. It went blue. The whole screen went blue and said WWE Over the Edge, experiencing technical difficulties.
Yep.
And it come back, and when it come back, it was JR and the King looking disheveled, which everyone has seen footage of that at least once. Talking about how it wasn't part of the story, wasn't part of the show.
Yeah.
And then in the biggest bonehead move in professional wrestling, they sent 2 more wrestlers out to continue the pay-per-view.
Well, not to mention Jeff Jarrett had to cut that promo, and Jeff and Owen were best friends.
Well, I remember Chyna saying that they were standing at ringside for one of the matches, and all she could do was look down because in the corner was still a divot with a patch of Owen Hart's blood, knowing that had just taken place.
Yeah.
And they had to go out like trained monkeys and work.
Just a sour. What a
now,
mistake.
I get the show having to go on. I get that.
Sure, but I think the fans would have forgiven them.
They would have understood, but then again, like I said, man, in '99 we were so taken aback by the possibilities were endless of things that they could do in front of us and still be part of the show.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, that if they would have told them that, it probably would have incited a riot, first off, if they'd have stopped the show.
Yeah.
We are talking about Missouri.
Yeah.
You know, wrestling hotbed.
Yeah, in the
They
90s.
at least took a moment to change the ring.
Yes.
Yes, something.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah, something that would have changed the atmosphere, the perspective of what was going on.
But yeah, Owen was a true professional. He was a jokester. He liked to rib people.
Oh yeah, he was a king of the
infamous. Actually, there is a book I read that's out called Owen Hart, Prankster King.
And
I don't know if that's exactly the title.
All of
pranks
his pranks.
Some of the funniest things that I have ever heard of in my life.
Yeah. So that's going to wrap up today in wrestling history. Our memorial to Owen Hart.
Well, there was some birthdays to kind of put some levity on.
Yeah, birthdays. We got Alex Shelley.
Alex Shelley's birthday today, and Hall of Famer
Drew
Carey.
Celebrity Wing Hall of Famer. Let's make the designation Drew Carey.
Wish I had one of those.
Isn't President Donald Trump in the Celebrity Hall of Fame for the WWE?
At one point, he was.
I think he is. So,
I mean, when you can grab him by the, you get to be in any Hall of Fame you want to be. I mean, let's be real here.
We don't have any politics involved.
No, once again, it's just a joke.
Please don't take that serious.
All right, Internet Warriors, don't come at me.
Do your worst, Internet wrestling fans. No. What do you think about Owen Hart? You got a fond memory you'd like to share? A match you'd like to share? Give us your thoughts at ProWrestlingThrowdown@gmail.com or subscribe, comment below, and we'll read your comments aloud next week.
Also, be sure to join us at www.facebook.com/ProWrestlingThrowdown.
Like us. You can message us there as well. We're quick to respond. I'm an admin. I've got it right here on my phone. I can talk to you all day.
And most of the time, you're talking to me.
Send us some thoughts. Send us some matches you want us to review. Stay tuned because getting to that, we're coming up on the mailbag.